Hi guys, in this video I want to talk to you about the 3 things that prevented me from becoming wealthy. The first thing was that I saw wealth as an event and not a process. I always imagined myself singing in some karaoke in a bar, then Simon Cowell would walk past and recognize my wonderful tones and drag me out of obscurity and make me the new world #1 pop star. I always thought I'd win the lottery. I imagined myself setting up a company and then selling it for squillions 12 months after I set it up. And that's because I thought that wealth was an event. It happened overnight and didn't take any time. When people imagine Steve Jobs becoming an overnight billionaire in 2007 when he launched the iPhone, what they don't realize is he worked for 31 years at Apple grinding it out until he became an overnight billionaire. You see, when an Olympic athlete wins the 100-meter sprint in under 10 seconds, people think, well, that was great, he just won a medal and it took him 10 seconds. Again, without realizing he'd been training for that 10 seconds for years and years and years and years. So when I say I wanted to become wealthy, what I actually meant was I want to be wealthy now and I don't want to have to work for it. It took me till age 57 to realize that my original plan to wait for the universe to just give me the money overnight wasn't working, and so I needed to do something very different. So instead I knuckled down, worked for 2 years, taking only 4 days off during those 2 years, 2 Christmas days and 2 Boxing days, until I'd saved enough money, around £20,000, to buy my first rental property. Now at some time during those 2 years, I forget when it was, it might have been when I saved my first £10,000, I had something of an epiphany, and it struck me and I thought, hey, this is working, this is all I had to do. It's not going to be an event, it's going to be a process, and if I continue to do what I'm doing, I will achieve my goals. But it takes time, it takes grind, and it takes patience. But if you do grind it out, have patience, take the time to do it, you and myself will achieve our goals. The second thing that prevented me from becoming wealthy was I didn't have a goal. I was waiting for something to happen instead of making something happen. If I have a goal, I can obsess about it, which is pretty much what I do now. So you might think, well, yeah, I did have a goal, you want to be wealthy, but what is wealthy? How do you define wealthy? It's different to different people. It's not even a number. If I was to give £10,000 to somebody who'd never had a pot of piss in all their lives, they would in their terms be wealthy, but in normal person's terms, £10,000 is not wealthy. But he would feel wealthy. So maybe wealth is a feeling and isn't a number. So I got to thinking to myself, what would I have to have? What would I be experiencing in order for me to feel wealthy? And for someone who wanted to be wealthy for an awful long time, it took me a while to think about what that was. And what it came down to was, I reckon I would know I was wealthy. I'd know it arrived if I was sat on a luxury yacht, sailing around the Mediterranean with hundreds of £1,000s in the bank to allow me to live that lifestyle. Then I would know I'd be wealthy. So I did a bit of research and I looked at how much second-hand luxury yachts cost, because they're an awful lot of money brand new. And I worked out I could buy a 50-foot yacht for £80,000 to £100,000, and let's say I wanted a couple of £100,000 in the bank in order to live that lifestyle. So 80 to 100 for the yacht, a couple of hundred in the bank, 300 grand. And then I need a time scale, because if you don't give an end date when you're going to achieve that, then it will just drift on and drift on and drift on, and you'll never achieve your goal. So I give myself 10 years. Why? Because, well, I was 57 when I started, and the state retirement age for somebody my age is now 67. So I was nice timing. It came at the same time I retire. So 10 years, 300,000, that was my goal. So I had a goal. And that brought me to the third thing that prevented me from becoming wealthy, and that was I didn't have a plan. And a goal without a plan isn't a goal at all. It's just a wish. Now, formulating plans is a natural part of our day. We do it dozens of times a day without even realizing it. A couple of examples. If you need to be at work at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you know it takes an hour to travel, you leave the house at 8 o'clock. And if you know it takes you an hour to get washed and ready and breakfast, then you set your alarm for 7 o'clock. Or no, you probably set it for 6:45, because it normally takes you 15 minutes to get your shit together. So there's your goal. You've got to be at work at 9 o'clock, and you make a plan, so you execute the plan, and you arrive at work at 9 o'clock every morning. That's how it works. Right down to the basic things in life, like you want to take a dump. I know if I want to take a dump, I've got to go upstairs, I've got to take my trousers down, I've got to do the business, I've got to clean myself, put my trousers up, come back down. I've got a goal, I've got a plan, I execute the plan, ta-da, objective achieved. We do that all the time through our lives, daily, every minute of the day in some cases. Except when it comes to planning our future, when it comes to becoming wealthy. When it comes to becoming wealthy, we just say, oh, well, we'll just see what the world delivers. We bimble through life, taking what comes. And whilst that might work for lucky some people, you might end up in paradise, but for most of us, you're going to end up on the rocks. Formulating a plan to take a dump and not formulating a plan to become wealthy is crazy. We need that plan. Now, my original plan was to go the traditional route of opening up a pension, because that's what we're told to do, that's what normal people do. But shortly after paying some license band at £900 to open the pension and introduced me to an underperforming fund, I realised I'd made a mistake and had to change that plan. In the military, we used to say that the battle plan only survives until first contact with the enemy, and that's because the enemy doesn't know your plan and won't act in accordance with your plan. So just remember that on the road to wealth, you're going to have to change the plan a number of times, or if you stay focused on the goal and keep changing the tiller to keep the boat on track, heading in the right direction, you will eventually get to that goal. I said earlier that becoming wealthy is not an event, but something did happen overnight to me, and that was my life changed overnight when I changed my behaviour. I got a goal. That goal was 300,000 in 10 years' time, so I could buy my yacht, fill it full of rum and victuals, and the wife and I were going to sail the Mediterranean like a pirate. I had a plan, and I obsess about the plan. It needs tweaking from time to time because of changes in economic conditions and opportunities that will come up and show themselves to me. But I obsess about that plan. Let me know what your goals and plans are for the future. Don't be stupid, don't be normal, and please hit that thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm. And if you don't want to miss any more videos, hit that little bell on the side. Take care, guys. God bless.